we tell the television people to start us up? I can't see but the top of the head. Good. All right, good morning, everyone. This is the Village of Royal Palm Beach Special Magistrate hearing for Wednesday, January 13th, 2021. According to Verizon, it's 10:05, so I can get started. My name's Doug McGibbon. First thing I'm going to do is swear everyone in, and we'll probably repeat the process as there are strays outside and people will wander in later. So everyone raise your right hand, say I do, and they're done. Does everyone swear to tell the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And everyone here knows their right from their left. That is good. All right, there are two types of hearings today on the agenda. They are either fine assessment hearings or violation hearings. It's a rare agenda where I do not have a request for reduction. In all of these cases, the village will go first. You will come up to that podium over there, identify yourself. They will show you a series of documents on the screen and ask you if you want to object to them. They'll present their case. You get to respond, and I get to make a decision. I think that's it, right? Yep. We can take it away, Village of Royal Palm Beach. Please proceed.
Margaret Hancock, Code Enforcement Officer for the Village of Royal Palm Beach.
Do we have an appearance by the attorney?
Yes, Jose Laverne, Village Assistant Attorney.
Okay. Which is our first case?
Yeah, I got you. So the first case is on page 2. It's a fine assessment hearing. It's going to be case number 20-0639, 129 Finch Court, Deborah M. Owens.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order, finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Okay, you need to scroll that so they can see it. I can see them too.
Okay.
Can you both state your name for the record, please?
Deborah Marie Owens.
Timothy Owens.
Sir, do you say your name again, sorry?
Timothy Owens.
Oh, thank you.
All right, you have one of 9 documents on the screen. Why don't you tell them what they are as you go through them?
Right, so basically, like the special magistrate said, I'm going to go through these documents, explain what they are, and I'm going to ask at the end if you guys object to the documents that are there. So the first page, you can see it has the affidavit of service, signed affidavit. Afterwards, you have the green paper. Same thing.
Signed green card.
Signed green card. Sorry, I apologize. Green card.
You may want to change it down from 198% to a little less so you can scroll it easier.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Same.
Maybe like that.
What?
You can't see.
No, that's fine.
Is that better like that?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good. It's
Okay,
easier
cool.
to see.
Perfect. This is the order of finding violation. That's Exhibit 1. Exhibit 2, you have a proof of ownership from property appraiser. And this is the pictures from code officer showing 4 further pictures.
Slow down on the picture.
Oh, sorry.
Please.
I apologize.
All right. So the first one is the RV. The second one is
Garbage can.
stuff in the front yard, I guess, by the door.
I was ripping all the leaves down. Sorry.
Okay, keep going.
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Any objections to the documents?
No.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so you're complaining about the RV. Is it licensed, not licensed?
It does have a tag now, but it does now have a tag, but it still hasn't moved.
Okay.
And then there's some items as well by the side of it, which I told Mr. Owens needed to be cleaned up right here.
And they're gone. The sash on the back of the RV and everything was put inside the RV the day that you came to my home. Man.
Okay, well, this is yesterday. When I came by yesterday, 112.
The mulch in the front yard?
These items were still here.
Yeah.
The garbage cans were put away yesterday. This was from the 9th. But yesterday,
Yeah, he's up really early in the morning.
this was,
I have cameras on my house. I can show you. I'm up by 7 o'clock every morning picking weeds in the front yard and taking it all around, sir.
Okay.
So
Well,
the lady that's RV that was staying with us, she no longer is residing in our home taken out by fire rescue before the 9th due to, they thought she had COVID. And the RV was licensed, it had a tag, the sticker and everything was in the RV. She just didn't get to put it on, she didn't put on the tag yet. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes, ma'am. So what I was saying is the lady that was living in there, or not, that's her stuff, excuse me. She had been taken out by fire rescue before the 9th, and it was, the RV had already had the registration and everything. She just didn't put the sticker on the license. So I apologize for that. And as for the garbage can in the front yard, that was being used. If you came by later on, you just seen it was flat full of weeds. Like our front yard got taken over by that. I forget what the name of the weed is, but I just put sod down and it destroyed it. So I apologize. I got sick with E. coli like a couple months ago, and I just couldn't move for about 2 months. So I don't know what else to tell you. I apologize.
Okay, well, so you're telling me that the miscellaneous items are cured? Has he done that? Have you seen them?
Yesterday they were still there, and the motorhome has not moved. It needs to
So-
move every 30 days.
Yeah, so one of the village ordinances, which is their laws, so you have to shuffle your stuff.
Sir, I'm a lot of things, but a liar's not one, and I would never, this lady works her butt off, and I'm not calling you a liar. It just, the stuff that's on the side of the wood, if you're talking about the wood that's on the grass, I thought you were
I'm not talking about that at all, sir.
Okay.
Okay, all I'm telling you is about the RV right now. The village ordinance says you have to shuffle these things.
Yes.
Okay, and that could just mean you drive it around the block and back it in, and then do it again in 30 days, and then nose it in.
We're
That's the
hoping it's
problem
gonna be
here.
gone sooner
We're
than
trying to
that.
get it gone
Yeah.
out of
Well,
our
it doesn't matter whether it's gone or not. What you need to do is get yourself out of trouble by turning it around. That's all. What I'm going to have to do here is, because of the evidence they're presenting and the photograph dated 1/12 showing the RV has not been moved and there's still a tarp on it, I'm going to have to issue a fine. You can stop the fine tomorrow by moving it and turning it around. And all you have to do is, just let me finish. If I sign an order finding a fine because of this, you can stop it. And one of the things in the order is, if you fix it, you call code enforcement, and they'll come by and they'll give you something called an affidavit of compliance,
Okay.
which will say you're done. Okay? And then you can come back next time and try to get the fine reduced because it wasn't yours, the lady got taken away, you had a valid tag, et cetera, and I'll listen to it that time.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to do is get you out of trouble tomorrow.
I appreciate you.
So if you get all this stuff out of the way and you turn that RV around or you move it over a few feet or whatever you do to move it so she can tell it's been moved,
I have the key.
then she'll give you an affidavit of compliance and
Yes,
you'll
sir.
be fine.
Okay.
And if you have to wait till she gets out of the hospital or wherever she is to turn it around and get the keys from her, then you call them that day to stop the fine. It'll only be a few $100.
Yes.
Okay? And that's all we're really trying to do is get you into compliance so it's not a problem. And if you get rid of her, then it never becomes a problem again.
Well,
Right.
we're trying. She knows the law real well, and it came down to yesterday where I had to come home to her telling the other one to leave, and she's like, I don't have to go anywhere. The law says I don't have to leave due to COVID, blah, blah, blah. Go get your eviction notice. And thankfully she left
Well, that's good. And,
when the
you know,
neighbor showed up. So
yeah, and
we're
you
not in
know,
a different courtroom today, sorry.
Also, Special Magistrate, on the other side of the house, there are some items, if you see the photo over here, not quite sure what they are behind the fence, but those would need to be moved to where they're not in view.
Yes, ma'am.
you just listened to her. I think what looks like a planter or something
It's behind that.
behind that. Okay.
Yeah, behind the fence. I
Got
don't
it.
have a very clear picture, but they were there yesterday as well.
Okay, so just
They're
you're
just
going to get an
not-
order, but before you even get the order, if you get this stuff cleaned up and call Margaret, she will run out there and stop these fines tomorrow if you can get things done.
Yes.
And then you'll come back later and you'll try to reduce the fines because it was the lady and not you, basically.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, so what is the days and what is the amounts? Because we're at that stage right now.
Right. So your prior order required compliance by December 17, 2020. They've been out of compliance for 27 days, a total of $1,350 and continuing at $50 a day.
All right, so that's why you want to stop this thing because it's starting to build up. And,
Yeah.
you just,
Yeah.
and if you own the house, there's nothing they can do to it unless you sell your house. You have to, maybe satisfy that.
Well,
So,
eventually, that's probably what I'm gonna end up doing, unless I
yeah,
sell
but
it
that's
next time,
that.
because it's too much of a house for me.
Yeah, and that's
And
fine.
I'm
And
disabled.
that's fine in everything. But you just want to stop these fines.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah, no. And right now, I'm constrained because of the evidence I've been given that I have to order this, but get it stopped in the next day or two. Find the keys and move that thing over a few feet or turn it around, and then you're
It'll
done.
be done today.
And then
I'll
if you're
drag it
done
down the
today,
street with a tractor if I have to.
yeah, and call Margaret and then tell her. Margaret will.
Yeah,
They don't live in the
whatever.
street. I'll call Margaret. Hey, there's an RV in front of my house. Sorry.
So yeah, she doesn't. She just wants to stop these things too. She just
Yes.
wants compliance. That's all.
Compliance is our goal.
We're trying, I promise you.
It rained
So
for 3
I'm going to
weeks.
grant the
Doesn't matter.
1,350.
RV.
Before,
Thank you.
I'm going to grant their fine request. You can come back and ask for a reduction, but get it stopped. It's a reasonable amount right now. We can deal with this as long as you get the stuff moved and the RV moved a bit, just so you can show it's been moved. I have a couple of extra cars. One's in the garage, the other one I drive around, and just every once in a while I turn it the other way.
This is a real big car, sir.
Yeah, well,
With a real big problem in it.
yeah, well, it makes it more obvious, unfortunately.
Yes.
All right, granted. We'll sign
Thank
that
you.
order. You get the order in the mail, but please fix it. Call them ASAP.
Yes.
Okay? Thank you very much. All right, next one, please, is.
I'm just gonna wait for her to be able
You
to
have to
clean
clean
this
the area.
log.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. I forgot the COVID delay. Wipes.
Oh, up there. It's 750.
And that way it's so much easier to scroll at 125 and 198. Otherwise, you just get a paragraph at a time. I know, I appreciate it. No problem. All right, our next case is?
Next case is case number 20-0750, 100 Indian Trails Drive, Indian Trail Homeowners Association. And that's going to be 2 cases down from the last one.
Okay. And who do we have on behalf of 100 Indian Trails or Indian Trail Homeowners Association?
Good morning. My name is Michael Steiner. I'm the attorney for Indian Trails Homeowners Association. Our law firm is Connick and Lemmy,
STEI?
Steiner.
Okay. All right, please proceed, Village.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order finding violation and affidavit of service. Mailing. I don't have, verification ownership, and then photos.
So fronds on one side, Christmas trees on the other?
Mr. Steiner, I'm going to go through the documents, explain what they are, and then I'm going to ask if you object to any of the documents afterwards. So on the first page, you have the affidavit of service. That's Exhibit 1. You have the green paper. You have the order finding violation. You have the proof of ownership on property appraiser. These are pictures that were taken as Exhibit 3. Any objections?
No objection.
All right, admitted without objection. So fronds on one side of the dumpster.
Well, those are 3 different dumpsters, and all dumpsters have stuff on the outside of them.
Okay.
It's a
Okay. All right, so these are all photographs from what, yesterday?
From yesterday, yes.
All right, so tell me what the Indian Trail Homeowners Association wants to tell me.
Our position is that this is an open community. Some of the dumping that may be happening may be from outsiders. The association, of course, doesn't want to have this trash outside. They've already been telling the community that everybody needs to pay attention if they see somebody dumping any type of trash, that they need to let the association board president know. The association, of course, doesn't want to be found not in compliance. The association doesn't want this trash there. They're not the ones doing it themselves. It's either owners that they haven't been able to identify, or it's been outsiders from other communities coming in and dumping whatever the trash may be. So what the association has done to try to rectify this is they are sending out letters to the community, letting the community know, which they've already verbally been doing, also stating, hey, look, we're going to get fined. If we get fined, it's going to come from all the owners' pockets, because at the end of the day, the revenue, the way that the association has money, is through the assessments that they find, that they send out to the owners. This is affecting owners that really aren't guilty of doing anything wrong, which is a problem. And the association really does not want to be fined going forward. In this case, they want to comply. I think part of the issue is that many of the days there probably was compliance. I'm not sure that the record would show from December 17th all the way through today that there was non-compliance, especially because there's bulk pickups on Mondays. And I'm not sure that all of that's in the evidence from one day has been there for the full entire period. So the association would
So stop for a second.
Sure.
Do you have any proof that anyone has come from outside to dump here?
We don't have any proof.
Okay, that's fine. Do you have any proof that the dumping was only done on specific days? Do you have a series of photographs that show it was clean on days?
I don't have specific photographs, but I'm not sure that
So
the village has.
you're arguing speculation. That's all you're doing right now, is arguing a speculative concept that someone's coming in here and dumping Christmas trees and dumping a couple fronds.
Well, the association.
If someone was dumping tires or other trash or something else, you might be able to have an argument, but this just looks like regular waste from the community and post-Christmas Christmas trees.
My understanding from the president is that the inspector has been to the property, and apparently there's been other things at the property besides that, maybe some bulk pickup items. And the association wants to rectify it. They've already reached out to trash haulers to see if they can have daily trash pickup. The problem with that, as you can imagine, is that's extremely expensive. It's very financially burdensome. And the other issue is, even if they do that, let's say they have a daily trash pickup. Let's say they come at 2 p.m. on, this day, 3 p.m. on this day, and then the inspector comes at 5 p.m. later that day, and one of the unit owners, went ahead and put something out by the trash when they're really not supposed to. You're going to say that we're not in compliance when the association is making every effort to be in compliance. So the association wants to be in compliance, but you have to understand this is a community with hundreds of members, and it's very hard for the association to be able to control all those members. They are taking means to try to do that, but at the same time, I'm not sure how the association is going to get out of compliance if they're doing everything they can, but people aren't listening to them.
Okay.
Special
I'll give you a
magistrate.
2-word thing that I told the last association that had a problem with their dumpsters. It's called a trail camera. People get trail cameras from wherever the sporting goods stores are, and every time someone goes by that trail camera and it goes and triggers their motion sensor, it takes a picture of whoever did what. Usually it's a deer going by a feeder or something. So if you want to get some proof, because I'm a trial lawyer and I deal with proof, and all you're doing is speculating right now, if you want proof, you're going to monitor those trash dumpsters. Secondly, your client is the owner of that property, and they are responsible for keeping it clean, period. You can throw other people under the bus. You can try to throw owners under the bus, but it's your property and your responsibility. So
I understand that, but the issue that we have with cameras is the fact that even if you get them on camera, number one, it's about being able to identify them, and then how do you hold them accountable? The association doesn't have the means to hold them accountable. So you might get them on camera, but how does that stop
okay,
the
well,
dumping?
that does not excuse you from fulfilling your requirement to comply with village ordinances. We can't do it because our owners are bad. That's basically what you're telling me, and that's not a legal excuse here.
Well,
And
if-
you're not going to you're not going to argue for the third time and win anything.
no, I'm not trying to argue. I'm just saying that if the association does hire a company that comes daily and removes everything, but for some reason that day, somebody comes and puts something by the dumpster, the inspector happens to be there at that time, that's what I'm saying. It's a perpetual issue. How do we get back in compliance? All the association wants to do is be in compliance. They're not
Well,
trying to
all
fight
they
it.
have to do is clean up their dumpsters, call Miss Hancock, have her verify that they're done, and not do it again. And if you want to sit there and say, well, it's just owners, well, I'll just fine you. It's simple. You are the owner of the property. You're responsible,
Understood.
So what is the amount of the request?
You requested compliance by December 17th. They've been out of compliance for 27 days, so it'd be $675 in continuing, $25 a day.
$675 plus continuing is granted. If they want to fix it, fine. If they want to blame others, fine. It's not my responsibility, but they're responsible for their property.
They do want to fix it.
Good. I've given them a possible use. They don't know who their members are and they can't identify them on their trail cams, then you've got other issues.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next, please. Oh, COVID cleanup. Oh, we're alternating. Good. Should have bought stock in Lysol.
Special Magistrate, the next case for fine assessment hearing on top of page 3, case number 20-0707, 10501 Southern Boulevard, CarMax Auto Superstores. We will be pulling from the code section 20-668. That's the real estate signs in the swale. They cannot be placed in the right of way.
Okay. We're down to grass and weeds and such. Gotcha.
I would like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation, and Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right. Please scroll them slowly for the. Actually, please give us your appearance. What's your name, sir?
My name is David Wheeler. I'm the construction owner's representative for CarMax.
Probably. Were you sworn in earlier?
I was not.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Say I do. He does. All right, Mr. Wheeler, you are a owner rep.
Correct.
So I will go through the documents with you, explain what they are, and then at the end I'll ask if you object to any of the documents.
Right. Thank you.
There you see the green paper. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, that's proof of ownership on property appraiser. Those are the pictures. Any objections?
No objections.
All right, admitted without objection. All right, so we have grass, weeds, and the lot and the swale are overgrown. Is it continuing to be that way?
The swale is overgrown. It's overgrown where they have like the construction fence on the property, and out off of Southern Boulevard, you can see this is extremely tall here. But this right of way needs to be maintained and needs to be mowed up to the sidewalk, and the grass like edged off the sidewalk and everything.
Yeah. What happened to your CarMax? It was going so well, and then it just stopped.
Yeah, COVID happened.
COVID happened. I understand that, and I drive by that every day.
Right.
So I'm like, oh yay, another CarMax. You
Yeah.
guys are okay.
Right.
I mean,
So you
But
probably
you
see
stopped
that we
and
are
you
back
just
under
let-
construction, correct?
you just sort of let it die there, and when it died there, it kind of got unmaintained.
Yeah, actually, the area that you're speaking of in these pictures is FDOT right-of-way, or an easement. And they maintain that.
No, our code requires every property owner, the adjacent property owner, to maintain that right of way up to the edge of pavement.
Okay.
FDOT will come down once a year and mow it. That's why our code requires every adjacent property owner to maintain.
I live in the subdivision diagonally across the street here.
Okay.
I own from the sidewalk to the back property line. But there's also a swale in front of my house from the sidewalk to the road. I'm required to maintain that sidewalk to the road swale because it's part of the village ordinances. And if I don't maintain that, I get fined, or at least cited. Now, I go out there in my riding mower and I ride around it and maintain it. Unfortunately, even if you're talking about an easement, if there's an easement across the property, there's still ownership in the fee owner, which is the landowner, which is you guys.
Correct.
So you still have to maintain the easement part because you own it, and then you have to maintain the other part because you're required under village ordinances to do so.
Okay.
Okay? So we're probably going to be looking at a fine here, and you're going to stop the fine by mowing it and calling them so they can verify that it's been done, because quite frankly, I'm surprised they didn't get you earlier. That thing's been neglected for months and months and months and months and months.
I would say years. Yeah.
Well, no, it's probably, it was moving along. I mean, I saw people out there, you were trucking, and then COVID hit, and then it just stopped.
Correct.
So we're only doing from like November on, really, right? My order was probably November something.
Your order required compliance by December 17th.
Okay, so December 17th till now, it's going to be what? What's the amount of the fine?
27 days. It was $50 a day, so it's $1,350 and continuing.
So it's $1,350. It's still bad. You can stop it by getting it mowed. Stop it by getting it mowed.
Absolutely.
Call Linda here, and the second they finish cutting it, so she can go out there and verify that it's done and that you're in compliance, and then everyone will go away.
So we need to mow and maintain the FDOT drainage swale.
Yeah,
Right,
and
and
everyone who's in front of the mall gets in trouble for not maintaining that, and they go, "Oh, that's not ours." Well, it is
Okay.
for purposes.
And this area, like where the CarMax sign is,
Right.
that all needs to be maintained.
Correct.
And down here by this black fencing, I understand that just on the north side of this black fencing, that's a retention pond, that's not yours.
Correct.
You don't have to maintain to that,
Correct.
but you have to maintain
Up to
like,
that.
along the edge.
Absolutely.
Up to the edge of pavement.
Yeah. After we had gotten the original citation, we did come out and mow everything that was on our site except the detention
I saw
pond.
that it had been mowed, but not really around the fence. Even the right-of-way, parts of that had been mowed. You know, it was still high in the middle and stuff. But
Right.
I knew that there was an attempt. It just wasn't
Okay.
all the way done.
Understood.
Definitely.
Okay. So I'm going to have to grant the $1,350 fine plus continuing, but hopefully you will get it taken care of and
Right.
stop it.
Yeah. Thank you for making us aware of our
All right.
responsibility there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wheeler. All right, granted. Next, are we into violations yet? Or we still have one fine assessment left?
Next one's violation, but we're going to wait to clean.
Just curious.
Oh.
Right? Yeah, it's not turning off.
It's on now. I see the light.
I know, I'm trying to turn it off.
Oh. Well, better on than off for our purposes.
So the next case is going to be the second case under violation hearing on page 3. It's case number 20-0583, 113 Santiago Street, Justin T. and Sarah A. Braun.
Dina Foley, Code Officer for the Village of Royal Palm. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. The code violation is 622-108.4, 6191, Prince 3, 2679, Prince 2, 2622, and 2664. Work done without a permit, second kitchen facility. Observed this on 7/21/20. The notice of violation, notice of hearing were mailed out. The notice of violation was mailed out 7/23/20 and was signed for on 7/25/20. The notice of hearing was mailed out 11/18/20, and I have actual service. We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, plans, permit number 00163, and code.
Sir, can you state your name for the record?
Yes. Good morning, Your Honor. Ryan Aboud, A, B as in Bravo, O-U-D as in Delta. I'm a partner at Backer, Aboud, Poliakoff, and Folster, and we represent the Brotons.
Ooh, I got the Porsche guy.
I'm sorry?
I got the Porsche guy.
Oh, okay, yes. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, so I'm going to go through if you go look at your screen on the right side, I'm going to go through those documents, explain what those documents are, and afterwards I'm going to ask if you object to any of the documents that are
Thank
there.
you. Appreciate it. And thanks for cleaning.
So here on the first you see the green paper. Green card.
Green card.
Green
Go
card, my apologies.
Shrink that thing. You
Green-
like these
Green
huge,
card.
huge things here. I feel like Godzilla here.
For exhibit 1, we have notice. Another green card. For exhibit 2, notice of hearing. For exhibit 3, proof of ownership on property appraiser. Any objections?
No. Other than that we disagree that a violation has occurred, we recognize these are business records and we have no objection to their admitted.
Right, and they're also public records too.
Yes, Your Honor, which is clearly no issue.
Okay, admitted without objection. It's gonna. All right, so I normally don't get plan sets. I kind of am amused here. What do we got going on here? I see you get a set also.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Appreciate it.
And I see that the set of plans I have has a highlighted couple of sections on it.
Okay, so yeah, the first thing that you guys should have is the definitions.
Right?
And the definitions of the code, which is section 2622, defines your dwelling unit. And in the dwelling unit, it says it's one kitchen facility per unit. And then under A, you have dwelling unit, single family detached. And that's letting you know that you have a single family dwelling unit. And it should have one kitchen. Each dwelling unit should have a kitchen. Only one. And then I also included 2679, which is the zoning district for that subdivision. And one of the permitted uses is a single family detached dwelling. It doesn't include duplexes where you would have 2 units with 2 kitchens.
Okay. Keep going.
Then you also have your permit, which is the initial permit for the house being built. And it was permitted as a single family house. Then you have a composite exhibit of the house plans. So if you look at sheet 1, which I highlighted in the bottom right corner, and then I highlighted that it's a floor plan, you can see that the area that's to the left on that plan, it's highlighted as a wet bar and a game room. And this would be your plan that the building official looks at to just do an overall. This is where they make sure that it complies with our ordinance for a single family home. Then Page 2 is a foundation plan, which, as you can see, that doesn't have too much on it. When you go to page 3 is the electrical plan. And if you look again at that same area that would be to your left, it's still showing that it's the wet bar in the game room, but up in the upper right-hand corner, it does say that in the game room there's a range, but your building official, this electrical plan is being made sure that it matches NEC code, not village code. And then, of course, you have the elevation plans on the next page and the following page. And then if you just go back to the very last page, you'll see there's an HVAC plan. HVAC is your mechanical plan for your air conditioning and heating. On this plan, if you look, they've drawn in the range on that. This is reviewed by your mechanical inspector, and he's inspecting, or he's looking to make sure that this complies with the building code for the air conditioning and the heating in the house. And that's all this plan is looking at. So the issue with the home was it has, in this wet bar area, it does have a separate cooking area. You're allowed to have the sink. You're allowed to have the refrigerator. You're not allowed to have another stove. And that is the issue with this. You're only allowed to have one kitchen. They can have a microwave back there. They can't have another range.
So, is that it for the village? All right, your turn.
Thank you, Your Honor. Whether there was a range at the location in the game room installed at the time that the home was built, in my opinion, is not necessarily relevant to whether or not this home was built, and which currently remains unaltered from its original plans and specifications. Meaning, yes, the developer or the construction company who built it may have decided to include a range at the time he built this home, no question about it. The fact that he did not include a second range at the time this home was built in the game room wet bar area doesn't mean that this set of building plans was not approved for the same. In fact, while I certainly recognize that the village is alleging that this plan was intended to conform to NAC requirements and not village requirements, the fact remains that the village stamps on these documents have approved these plans on 2/23/2000 and 3/1/2000 on the bottom left corner of the third page, identified as the electrical plan for this home. And where Your Honor would scroll to the top right page, where the plans that were approved by the city, and for the record, a CO, a certificate of occupancy, Your Honor, was in fact issued for this home. On the top right corner, the electric load specifically states that the game area is supposed to have an electric load capacity to support a range. That necessarily means that a range may be installed there. The fact that a range may or may not be installed there doesn't mean that that's a second cooking area. There's just an additional, doesn't mean that there's an additional kitchen. There's only one kitchen in this house. The fact that there's a second range doesn't mean that there's a second kitchen. And these plans specifically and expressly authorize a range to be installed by requiring the specific electric outlet for that second range. The 240 volt outlet was installed at the time the unit was constructed by the construction company. That was not changed. The electric capacity specifically indicates that that area needs to support a range. Whether the developer installed the range at the time of construction is not relevant. So these plans that were approved by the village specifically accounts for the possibility that a range may be installed there. The existence of a range doesn't take away from the fact that that area is in fact a wet bar. That is not a kitchen. My understanding is that there's no dishwasher there. But that is, clearly a wet bar area with a range which was expressly authorized by the plan. So
So you're arguing estoppel against the village for having this in their plans?
Not only that, but yes, in part estoppel, the fact that it's not a violation because this was authorized, as well as the fact that, and of course, with all due respect to the village, I understand we all have jobs to do. Our position is also that the statute of limitations would prevent the city from further enforcing something where the CO was issued years and years and years ago, well beyond the time within which it could have enforced it.
Okay, well, every day is a new violation. So.
And I totally hear that, but this has not been and where I disagree respectfully with the court is I handle, by the way, I represent primarily community associations, condos and HOAs, and it primarily involves almost every aspect of real estate. And the way I understand it is that the statute of limitation does not get applied in that way, respectfully, of course, where every day is a new violation. Like, for example, if an association, and this is the best analogy that just came to my head right now, Judge, if an association is aware that in a community where commercial vehicles are prohibited, a certain homeowner parks a semi-tractor trailer in his driveway to the extent it would fit, and the association is on notice. And yes, to a certain extent, there's one view that says that every day that the truck is there, that may create a new violation. But at the same time, the way the case law interprets statutes of limitations is that the statute runs on the day that the association is aware of the violation, not that it can be allowed to remain there where the statute of limitations is 5 years to enforce a contract such as a set of governing documents, and then the truck can stay there for 10 years, and then on the first day of the 10th year, the association can enforce it because it's been there. So, but that's neither here nor there. I think my only concern, and I was on board with the village's position until I spoke to my client and he provided me with the plans. And my first conversation with him was, generally speaking, I know from my city where I live in Boca, you're not allowed to have two kitchens. I don't agree that the existence of a range makes two kitchen, and these plans that were approved by the city for which a CO was issued specifically contemplates the range.
Okay.
Whether it was installed is irrelevant in my opinion, but I understand that there are,
I'm pretty sure there's a case about property inspectors. It's called Trianon. You know the Trianon case? It says you can't, rely on property inspectors to use for estoppel purposes because you can't make the government responsible for their actions. So if they screwed up by approving this, you still can't hold it against the government. And governments also get a lot more leeway from the courts for not knowing what is happening to their property. I know that people who try to claim a prescriptive easement against the government, and they may have notoriously and hostilely have fenced that area in and maintained it for more than the required 7 years, still can't get a prescriptive easement against the government because the courts recognize the government may be too stupid to know what it owns or to follow what's going on. Now, I understand your arguments. I appreciate your arguments. But once you hit a range in here, you are going for kitchen number 2. And if they remove the range, then life is good. And if they keep the range, well, then we'll be coming back for a code enforcement fine assessment hearing. The choice is theirs. The only other option is to lobby the village council to change the ordinances to provide that a second range in a wet bar is not a kitchen. But under current existing ordinances, the range is what kills you. So I do not find an estoppel against the village. I do not find a statute of limitations against the village. Those things usually don't run against governmental entities in this type of work. And when do you want to have this item remedied by?
We're requesting compliance by March 31st or appearance at the fine assessment hearing on April 14th at 10 a.m. or $25 a day.
All right, 331 for what, 14?
414, yes.
You're making them come back on Valentine's Day?
That's April 14th, sir.
Oh, April. Never mind. All right, so, we skipped February. Good. So you've got months to figure out what to do with your range. Whether you want to keep it, then fight, whether you want to take it out and get inspected and be done. It's up to you.
It's not my range. I'll speak to my
Well,
client.
yeah, your client's range. I know. So 331 41425. Granted.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I keep these or do you take these back?
You can keep those.
Okay.
They've got enough paper.
I have the same copies. That's why I didn't need it if you guys wanted it back.
You guys want scrap paper? No?
So this,
My kids do calculus now. They can't do it on scrap paper. I don't know. It's all in their head somewhere. All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
And
you.
Is this it? We still have a live body out there. Okay. One more in violations. Bring them on down. All right. Which case is this? Just so I'm in the right place. Page 3.
Yeah, it's next case,
Okay.
number 20. Yeah.
Got it. We're going to clean. Got that too.
I guess we could swear him in.
I'll wait till he gets to the podium.
Okay.
That way they can hear it. Need a straw. David. Keep good notes. All right, sir, what's your name for the record?
David Lockhart.
Okay. David Lockhart. Gotcha. All right, Village, please proceed.
Wait.
Oh, we have to swear you in. Excuse me. Could you raise your right hand? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please say I do.
Yes.
He says he does. Thank you, Mr. Lockhart. You may proceed, Village.
Okay, the code section is 2318B1A, prohibited vehicle. Observed this on 9/30/20. The notice of violation was mailed out on 10/1/20 and was signed for on 10/3. The notice of the notice of hearing was mailed out November 6, 2020, and I have actual service. We'd like to enter the following into evidence: Exhibit 1, notice of violation; Exhibit 2, notice of hearing; Exhibit 3, verification of ownership; and Exhibit 4, pictures.
Okay, they're going to show you the pictures on the screen and everything else, so why don't you reduce the size and scroll through for them?
Wait, your name you said was David Lockhart?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, we have a stray that just walked in, too.
Okay. Mr. Lockhart, I'm going to go through these documents. I'm going to explain what they are, and then afterwards I'm going to ask if you object to any of those documents. Okay. Here on the first page is a green card.
Well, could you go back to that one? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
That's not really a green card. It's more like the receipt.
Receipt? Okay.
It's a mailing receipt.
It's on the back of this thing here.
No, that's the receipt they get from the post office. That's not the...
I didn't sign for this. No one did.
Okay, well, that's not the only way you can get served, though. You can get served by... Just let them go through the documents. Go ahead. All right, so what do we have next?
This green card. This is notice. Receipt again.
Okay, so USPS tracking
Space
confirmed.
tracking. Okay. Exhibit 2, the notice of hearing. Exhibit 3 is proof of ownership from property appraiser. And these are the pictures as Exhibit 4. Any objections
Objections to what?
to the documents you just saw?
No.
All right, admitted without objection. What's the problem with the trucks? You please explain it to him.
The food trucks are prohibited in the village.
What trucks are prohibited?
I'm sorry?
You said something trucks are prohibited?
The food trucks.
Food trucks. Gotcha. All right. So they're saying that a food truck is a prohibited vehicle and you're parking it at your house. So that's
Truck
their...
has been there since 2017. I haven't worked since from February to the end of March before I got this thing up and running. how was I supposed to know that this thing was going to be legal? I'm just trying to make it like everybody else. I mean,
I understand that, sir. Someone's reminder for go to meetings in the middle of my screen. All right, so a lot of things aren't caught. So I get a lot of things don't get caught. I get a lot of people here who buy houses, and then they look in the backyard and there's a shed there, and the shed's been there for 10, 20 years, and then finally a neighbor complains and they find out the shed wasn't permitted. So, that's probably what happened in your situation. No one had complained for years, and then finally someone did, and they said your truck is violating the code and ordinances.
can I know who complained about this, or was it something you guys?
I don't know that they tell us who.
Special magistrate, the issue is that it was actually a regular truck back in 2017. Now it became a food truck, and that's why it's in violation.
That's what I told them.
Oh, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to have to do something with that truck other than leave it there. You need to find another space to leave it, and
That is one of the things I have been calling, communicating about them.
well, the good news is I'm going to give you a lot of time to try to find a new home for it, at least on some sort of basis. So you're probably going to get till the end of March to deal with this.
Okay.
And to get you out of trouble, all you have to do is once you've figured out where you're going to put it for your overnights or whatever it is, you're going to call Dina, and you're going to tell her to come by and say the truck's gone. And if you're going to come home, just leave it parked out on the street or the swale. Can you do that for an hour? No? I got a neighbor who does that.
At night? I mean, sometimes.
Home for lunch.
If he comes home for lunch or something, he can park out for an hour and then leave. So I'm saying you can come by and, pick stuff up and leave, but this thing cannot live there and it cannot stay there overnight.
Okay, so I mean, and this is one of the problems that I was trying to talk to her yesterday, because I kept calling her, was that if I found the place, some of these places don't allow you to enter at a certain amount of time, and most of the times when I do stuff is late at night or early in the morning.
Right. Well, you've just got to find someone who can cater to your time frames. Okay.
But I
I'll
mean,
give you
the
till the
time-
end of March to do that, which gives you a couple months to figure out what to do. Because I can't wave a magic wand and say your truck is now compliant. The only people that can do that are the village council, and I don't know that they will or won't. You have to talk to a representative there.
So how do I go about doing that?
Talk to a village council.
Yeah.
Just look up their names on the website and start giving them calls. I mean, there used to be an ordinance in town that said you can't have ladders on vans, and that made all the air conditioning people and plumbing people and everything mad. They actually got together and went and lobbied the village, and they changed the rule. The problem is, while you're doing this, you're still going to get fined if you let it run over.
Okay.
So what are the dates on here? I can almost guarantee you they're going to be 3/31. Is this going to be a 3/31, 4/14?
No, special magistrate. Actually, we were requesting compliance by February 26th for attendance at the fine assessment hearing on March 10th.
I'm gonna give him more time. He's got a situation to deal with. I'll give him some time, but you can't leave it there forever. You're gonna have till the end of March to figure it out. Get it done early though, please. And just get it taken care of. Otherwise, you don't want to come up here and end up with hundreds or thousands of dollars worth of fines for something you could have fixed if you were working on it in a timely manner.
That is just, once again, I mean, I thank you for your time. That was one of the biggest problems, is financially finding a way to put this thing.
Yeah, I know. It's difficult. And it's because people in neighborhoods don't want it, and people in storage places, you're going to have issues with timing.
Yeah.
So see what you can do. I'm giving you extra time because you told me about your schedule. So you have more time to talk to people about storage lot type stuff.
Okay.
Or find someone in the acreage who will help you out or whatever. But you need to find a different location for it. And once you do, and it's out of your driveway, you need to call so they can come and inspect and stop this.
Right.
Okay?
Thank you. But I just want to put another thing. I didn't ever sign for this thing. They just put this in my mailbox. Okay.
Because of COVID land? Because of COVID.
Oh.
a lot of these things are now being signed by the postmasters, and they're just putting COVID on it
But,
because they're not delivering it.
and that's
So-
another thing, some of those other violations I never received.
Well,
Because,
one of the things they showed you in one of the documents was a USPS track and confirm,
right,
which showed one of them was being delivered. And that may be the notice of hearing.
but once, that was another point of contention I want to bring up was,
Yeah,
I
unfortunately.
had talked to the postmaster because our mailbox has been vandalized numerous times. So a lot of our stuff has been screwed upon the streets, ran over, and destroyed.
Yeah, well, fortunately or unfortunately, this is the point in time where I can give you some time to deal with your situation.
Okay. I just wanted to tell you about the mail situation.
Yeah, the problem these days is the mailmen themselves aren't wanting to do a lot of this personal contact stuff,
Mhm.
and they're just writing COVID on there, and it's acceptable to the USPS, which makes it acceptable to the village. So,
But
not
if
their
you can
fault.
see that mailbox, that like I said, it's like you see people ride by and the cameras pick them up, but it's too late. And I
Well,
just wanted to let you know.
hopefully you'll be able to get it fixed, and there are some amusing things to do to mailboxes to make it fun to run over and hurt the cars that try to do it.
Okay.
So, look it up on YouTube.
So special magistrate. So we're doing March 31st, and you want him either or attend the April 14th fine assessment hearing or the $25 a day.
Yes,
So what? Say that again.
you have till the end of March
Okay.
to
So
figure
if I
this
come
out.
into compliance, then I have to come back here again.
If you talk to her and you show her, or you have her come by and verify that it's gone, then you don't have to come back. And if you do that before the 31st of March.
Okay.
If you do it after the 31st, you'll get fined. If you don't do it, you'll get fined.
Okay.
So you know what you have to do now. All right, sir?
Mr. Lockhart, I just want to explain to you too, though, once it's in compliance, once we tell you you're in compliance, if you bring it back again, it could be a repeat violation, which means it comes right back for a fine. You would not have time to cure the problem. So just when you do call for the compliance date, it has to stay gone.
Other
Yeah,
than,
but that was one of the things that we had talked about. I mean, like I said, I come at night. I mean, there's nobody out there, and this thing is going by the time you come to work. What is the problem?
the problem is they work sometimes at night. They work on the weekends. Someone can call and complain. That's the problem. It's not like it's an invisible truck. So you need to deal with the situation. If you don't want to deal with the situation, it's come here and get fined. And that doesn't make any sense. You want to make money. You don't want to lose money. You don't want to start a $25 a day hole on this thing. These things add up. I've had fines that are $100,000. So deal with it, please. Okay, sir?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We have a new one.
Yes. It's gonna be the next case, number 20-025.
Okay.
So case number 20-0259, 212 Sparrow Drive, number 4, Stephen G. Urick and Mary Foster.
All right, please state your name for the record.
Mary Ann Foster.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
He does. All right, Ms. Foster, they're going to show you some documents and some photos. Well, actually, no photos. They're going to show you some documents and ask you if you object.
Special magistrate, I have the paper exhibits, we didn't put them in.
Okay, well,
Code section 622, 105.5, building permit has expired. I observed this violation on 2/20/20, sent out notice of violation on 2/20/20, sent out notice of hearing on 12/8/20. Like to present the exhibit documents. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification ownership, and Exhibit 4 is AS 400 permit information.
All right, who gets to walk? Someone walk that over to me, and then you're going to walk it over to the respondent. Let me look at them first. Okay. They have an affidavit of service, so we have service. And okay. Good. All right, please show these to the respondent, see if she objects. Of the notice of violation or hearing.
Oh,
This is proof of your ownership on property appraiser.
okay.
AS 400 printout.
Okay.
Could you bring that back to me, please?
Yeah.
Do you object to this?
No.
Okay, without objection. I just want to look at the AS 400 for a minute.
And the permit's very old.
Yeah, it's like it's showing an application 09, which would be an 09 permit,
Right.
but they have 2016 and 2000. Oh, those are just,
They did renew it a few times.
okay, what was the permit for?
It's just for remodeling.
Remodeling permit?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we have a remodeling permit and we never got a final inspection.
May I speak? Or?
Sure.
Okay. I've already went to Mr. Hill and I requested a renewal, and he proceeded to say that he preferred it to go in front of the magistrate. Oh, he preferred that I would go to the magistrate.
Okay, and
So
did he say why?
I can't get in compliance until I have an active permit, and I'm not saying I'm not willing to be in compliance, but I can't get into compliance unless I have an active permit. So if Mr. Hill does not want to do a renewal, how would you like me to comply?
Well, that's a good question. Can she renew a permit?
There were notes in the AS 400 not to renew it anymore. So possibly Mr. Hill needs her to close out that permit and possibly get a new permit. We really don't know if that's going to be the situation until he's back at the office on Tuesday. And we explained that to Ms. Foster outside. It may be possible that she could just renew it, but without his
See,
direction.
my
don't
problem
know.
is I don't want her in a catch-22 situation where she needs to renew a permit to get her inspection to come into compliance, but she can't get her permit renewed.
So this is what I explained to her. She is either going to I don't know what her remedy is going to be until Tuesday. I'm sorry, but why is that? Why is not Mr. Hill here? Why didn't we make a meeting in reference to him being here so that I'm not in limbo and this doesn't keep continuing on? I shouldn't have to be in limbo. You're the one pursuing me to come in compliance, but yet I'm waiting on Mr. Hill to make a decision that he's already told me that he wasn't going to do.
Well, if you'd like, I can tell you right now, just pull a new permit and close this one.
No,
It's going to
he's
cost you
not-
more money to do that. I
It's-
can say
It's not
that.
the point of not reissuing another permit, but if he's not going to renew it, he's definitely not going to let me pull another permit in my name.
So the problem
So I'm
is,
going to catch 22. I can't get in compliance because Mr. Hill wants to leave it on the courts to make the decision.
Okay, well,
this is a 2009 permit that has
And
been
I've had many inspections in there as well.
well, 2009,
I
this
know, I
is
came into-
2021.
I know, and I've had
And
renewals.
for
and
a
I have had
remodel to take,
inspections in there.
stop, please. We
Okay,
cannot
I'm
both
sorry.
talk at the same time.
I'm sorry. Go
The,
ahead.
the guys do not like recording people talking over each other.
Okay.
This is a 12-year-old permit.
Okay.
You know, if it's all done and all inspectable, it should have been done in the last 12 years.
All right.
The village sets these meetings at a time in the future, and they give you more time than other jurisdictions, so you have the opportunity to comply. They do not check people's vacation schedules to make sure they're here or
I'm
not.
not on vacation. It
So
was, personal problems.
what the code inspector has said is that you have to apply for a new permit and then close it out. And I will rely on that.
But what happens if he does not allow me to pull another permit?
Well, then you're going to come back before me, and I'm going to give you 10 years to finish it. Okay? There'll be a remedy here someday, some
Because
way.
I do want to comply. It's not like I'm not going to comply. The
Well,
only thing
no,
that
you're not wanting to comply if it takes 12 years to do it. Okay? That is, there's a term in law called latches.
Okay.
And latches means that you waited too long to complain about it.
Right.
And 12 years is a long wait to complain about getting something re-inspected that should have been done 10 or 12 years ago.
I agree 100%.
So your sympathy level is kind of lowered there.
I understand.
So,
but I had a lot of personal problems, and I didn't want to get into
well,
it. But you know,
that's all part of life.
yeah, I
But
understand.
you've got a 12-year-old remodel permit
I understand.
that you need to get closed out.
Well,
So
I'm trying
apply
to.
for a new one, and if they do not let you apply for a new one, you have to come back to here. I'll remember this. Okay?
Yeah, but
I've been doing this 10 years here. I remember these cases.
so how do I do that?
You go to the building department and you apply for a remodeling permit, your owner builder.
And it's actually all done online now?
Okay, and you just do it online and you get your permit. And you call for an inspection and you get it done. It's the difference between getting Rob Hill to do it and doing it new is a cost difference, correct? It's cheaper one way than the other?
Oh, yeah, it's cheaper one way than the other, and
Well,
that's what I was going to try to do, is try to get her to get the permit extension, but she doesn't. She wants to make sure that she has a
No, I
definitive
do.
answer
I'm
today.
s-
So the definitive answer today is she'll have to administratively close this permit once she gets the other permit issued.
That's not what I'm
and
saying. That's not
she'll
what I'm
have
saying at all.
I'm sorry.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I want a renewal. I asked Mr. Hill for a renewal, but he would not allow me.
Okay,
to
well,
have it.
then the code enforcement officer is saying, get another permit.
And what happens if he rejects to giving me that?
I don't think he'll ever get to his desk for a rejection if you apply for a permit. It's just going to make it through a bunch of
Well,
permit
the problem
reviews.
is this permit's expired.
Right.
So she'll have to get a new permit and get this one closed by 2/26 is the date that we're asking for, or a fine would start. So we are still asking for an order finding violation. This permit was renewed 9 times. On the 10th extension, it was denied.
9
So
times?
9 times it was renewed. It only had rough electrical inspections and a top-out plumbing. So there were 3 inspections done because 1 was disapproved, and then it passed.
No,
But then
we had electric approved.
a rough
Yeah.
electric,
Yeah.
yes.
And,
You said
and a
electric
plumbing.
and plumbing.
And plumbing. And all
So-
we need is now is drywall.
Look, don't know what the situation is. Time for it to stop. 2/26 or what date?
It's going to be 226 or attendance at the fine assessment hearing on March 10th at 10 a.m. or $25 a day.
6 by February 26th. Either get Mr. Hill to, or go get yourself a new permit, and still you can talk to Mr. Hill while they're reviewing your new permit application. Otherwise, you need to correct this by 2/26, or you'll be back in front of me on March 10th, and you can explain what happens then. Okay?
Thank
You'll
you.
get an order in the mail.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So Mr. Hill will not be in until the Tuesday? So I can submit a renewal or another permit, depending on his judgment?
You want
Do I
this
get a
back.
copy of any of this now, or?
You get it in the mail. We don't write these things up immediately. Okay.
Special Master, we can go back to page 1.
Now, special magistrate's going to take a 3-minute break.
Okay, got it.
It'll allow cleaning time. I can deal with the 3 cups of coffee. You people, these morning hearings make me wake up early. In the evening, I don't have this problem because I've already done my coffee.
Duet? Yeah, she didn't want to let you talk. I know, we're a bunch of troublemakers.
No, it's like, how old is this permit? From 2009. Okay, we're back in session, and page 1, number 1. Huh? Raymond's not in there. Never mind. He wasn't in the restroom. He went out for a cigarette. Oh, well then. He got lost. All right, back on the record, according to Microsoft, it's 11:18. Page 1.
For page 1, first case for fine assessment hearing, case number 20-0239-10145, Mikado Lane, Lisa Lurie.
Okay.
We would like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, you can scroll through. You can scroll through while she's talking about them,
Okay.
too. Kind of makes it flow a little better, too. All right, signed green card. You have service. September order. Yeah, if you shrink these things, it's easier, too, to scroll through them. Go ahead. I have a nice new mouse that scrolls really fast.
Doesn't matter, because she read it already, do you need me to read it again even if someone's not?
No, you just need to go. She read them in.
Right, that's
I'm
what I-
saying that you could just be scrolling through them while she's reading them in and just
Correct.
get me to.
Understood.
Most of these things is just I need to see service, one,
Right.
and then if I have service, I can proceed, and then I really just need the pictures.
Understood.
So what's the problem in the pictures now that you're at the picture phase?
The structure's in disrepair. Over by the window, it's all rotten wood around there up on top.
Yeah, I saw the lovely, whatever, the surround for the window is fallen down on the left-hand side of the door. And anything else you want to point out on the picture?
Up by the window, all the wood is missing. There's
Gotcha, okay, upper right of that window.
there's rotten wood throughout the structure.
Well, the problem is wood in Florida does not work. Okay, so you have any more pictures? Got a hole in the roof?
Yes.
Poor people have a trifecta. What is that behind them?
That's Business Parkway.
Okay, a big roof. All right, so you have service, you have a structure and a roof in disrepair. What would you like?
So your order required compliance on January 8th, 2021. So they've been out of compliance for 5 days, $25 a day. So it's $125 and continuing.
Granted.
Thank you.
Next.
Case number 20-0310-10807 Dalmany Way, Irving J. and Maria L. Estevez.
We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, order granting continuance and setting fine assessment. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, permit information.
Okay. Yeah, shrink them down. That's so much easier to scroll through. Right. So they showed up. You scroll through that fairly fast. Stop there. Okay. 04. Okay. No shed permits. I gave them a chance to come back here and do something, and they didn't do it, so what's their fine?
So you required compliance on November 18th. They've been out of compliance for 56 days, $25 a day, so it's $1,400 in continuing.
1,400 plus continuing is granted. You have service. Next.
Next case is number 20-0698, 1374 Donwoods Lane, Mario and Lauren Gutierrez.
I'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, permit information.
Okay. The receipt. What do we have for service? A signed green card. You have service. You can go. Number 7. Stop. Oh, ooh, I like the highlight. So we got some activity in December.
But nothing since then, and they were
But
actually
they
supposed
bailed
to
on the
be.
rest of it, huh? They're supposed to email you some documents and they never did. Okay.
So you required compliance on December 17th. They've been out of compliance for 27 days for $25 a day, so it's $675 and continuing.
Granted.
Thank you.
Next case is number 20-0821, 785 Carissa Drive, Jose A. Rodriguez.
We'd like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation and permitting village abatement. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, public works order.
Whoa.
Sorry,
Stop for
I
a
was looking to
second.
see
Road was mowed by. Okay. Okay, I just thought it might have been a communication from him. It's just Lou confirming that people mowed. Okay. Keep going. Just wanted to see what it was. All right, I thought this was Dr. Jose Rodriguez just because of the title of the suit. Kind of like Camilla Carissa Drive. Kind of like Dr. All right, so grass and weeds exceed height. You remediated it. It's $286.
That is correct, Special Magistrate.
Granted. Expensive mow.
Special Magistrate, the next case, number 20-0835, we're going to be pulling.
Okay. Trying to remember Mary. Go ahead.
Next case is number 20-0580-229 Sandpiper Avenue, SRP Sub LLC.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, AS400 permit information.
I like their stamp on the green card. All right, do these people own multiple properties in the village?
I believe so.
So they should be more than aware of the fence permit requirement.
Yep.
What is the fine requested here?
So they've been out of required compliance by December 17th. So they've been out of compliance for 27 days for $25 a day, so requesting $675 and continuing.
Granted.
Thank you.
Next case is number 20-0747, 126 Sparrow Drive, Cherylized Condo Villas, Inc.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3, pictures.
Signed green card equals service. We'll see the trash by the trash pile, right?
Yep.
Oh, it's a lovely chair with a shirt on it.
Yep. It was
So-
still there yesterday when it was supposed to be picked up, so.
People. All right, so what's the fine here?
Special Magistrate, you requested compliance by December 17th. They've been out of compliance for 27 days, so it's $675 and continuing.
Maybe this will get their attention. Granted.
Thank you.
Special Magistrate, next case is case number 20-0872, 198 Bob White Road, Charles R. Johnson. We will be taking out sections 9-8, 14-2, 15-40, and 15-8. Those have to do with the hedge exceeds allowable height.
All I have on my agenda is 1557.
Oh, really? Okay, so that's the only one.
So you've already done it.
Okay.
Don't do it again. No, you're fine. High grass and weeds. Show me some pictures and the service, and I'll be happy to roll it.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, previous order, finding violation and permitting
All
village
right, you have an
abatement.
affidavit of service. You're good to go
Affidavit
there.
of service, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, public works work order. So there is no more high grass and weeds. Public works cut it.
286 is granted.
Thank you.
Yeah, with two of those, you could buy our used riding lawnmower.
Next case is number 20-0669, 300 in Business Parkway, 8-2, 300 Business Parkway.
Okay. That's usually a Linda. Linda, Business Parkway. Oh, she's the next two. Business Parkway. Linda show.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the order finding violation, and Exhibit 2, the verification of ownership.
See, that had a COVID-19 sign. November 7th, good.
So this is for the automotive shop. They still have not obtained their special exception approval. Their special exception approval is going to go in front of council, but it is not scheduled, I think, until February.
Okay, well, you're the master of these cases. What do you want to do with them?
We can give till the end of February. We can do an order granting and give to the end of February. Or appear.
That sounds wonderful. So granted. Granted, 228 is not a leap year, right? All right, 228 or 3, what's it, 10?
26.
What?
226.
226?
And then 310, I believe.
Yeah.
All right, you said you wanted to give them till the end of February? So that's why it's doing the 28th.
Oh, yeah, but the 26th is the dates that we had. I don't care if you want to do the 28th. Yeah.
All right, the 26th it is. 226, 310, 25? Or what?
Actually, the previous order said 250
Up
a day.
Okay.
And we were going to ask for 50 a day, but I had called Lauren to find out about this. And she said that they had already made it through TRC, but they still had to go through council approval. But she said that they didn't miss any meetings, so that's why.
You can put 250 and then tell me 50 later. I don't care.
Okay. If you wanna
250 is
do up to
fine. up to, I'll just put up to 250, and then you can pick an amount if they fail to or they get turned down.
Okay.
Gotcha. You're next.
Okay. Got it.
Linda, top? 330 Business Parkway? Oh, no service. Okay, no one told me that.
Special Magistrate, just to clarify, so there's going to be a continuing on that one?
What?
Or that specific order? So we're doing February 26th, and then, or fine assessment hearing on
310
310.
with an up to $250 a day fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, 20-786, I've been told has no service. That's the last fine assessment hearing.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
And that one's going to, and that case was pulled.
Okay, good. All right, violation hearings.
Yes. So first case, case number 20-0235, 10318 Showboat Lane, Milagros, A. Santana.
We would like to enter the following into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, pictures. Oh, wait. Code section 06190A1, the roof is in disrepair. I observed this on 2/18/20. The notice of violation was mailed out 2/19/20 and was signed for 2/21/20. The notice of hearing was mailed out 11/18/20 and was posted.
All right, you have some signed green cards, so you have service. And we have tarpage. I feel bad for people with roofs because it's such an expensive fix. All right, when are these people needing to have their roof repaired or their permit issued?
Actually, I just spoke to the niece before hearing, and they just received the money from the insurance, so they already hired the contractor, so he's going to try to start pulling the permit
331
today
then gives them time?
to apply.
So you want to give them up to 331? That gives them
Okay,
331, 414? Is that the date?
yes.
Or,
Yeah, 414 or 25?
Yes, please.
Granted.
And that's at 10 a.m.?
yes.
All right, Jesse Robinson, 20-311. Someone went overboard. They painted their sidewalk.
Okay, thank you.
Case number 20-0311, 425 Las Palmas Street, Jesse W. Robinson.
Code section 06190A5, the sidewalk section of the driveway has been painted. This was observed on 2/28/20, and a green card was signed for on 7/20, or 2/29/20. And I sent out notice of hearing on 12/8/20. I got the green card returned COVID, and I posted it as well. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, signed green card, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
I'm just waiting for the picture. I want to see what pretty color they made it.
There it is.
They didn't even make it a pretty color. It's just grayish. Oh, well, you got that lovely, wet, kind of dreary look to it. So you're trying to make it look as bad as possible, huh?
I couldn't help it was raining.
It looks overcast and wettish. Okay. So the village doesn't want to eat in a lawsuit for the slip and fall?
No, sir.
All right. Remember that lady we had come in here who did like everything in the world to try to get paint off her driveway? I mean, she used acid, pressure cleaning, paint removal stuff. This is going to be a bear.
Most of the time you have to have it sandblasted.
Sandblasted would be my recommendation. All right, what's your dates on this one?
Special Magistrate request compliance by February 26th or attendance at the fine assessment hearing on March 10th at 10 a.m. or $25 a day.
I find the 226 date very appropriate given the health and safety issues involved. So 226, 310, 25 is granted.
Thank you.
Last but not least, Progress Residential 20-775.
Special Magistrate 216 Cordova Circle, Progress Residential Borrower 5 LLC.
Code sections 14.4, 1557, 2318B, and 2317. Disabled vehicle, high grass and weeds, parking on the front lawn, and parking on or over the sidewalk. I observed this violation on 10/5/20. Send out notice of violation on 10/7/20. It was signed on 10/19/20, and I also posted it to the property. And I mailed out a notice of hearing on 12/10/20 and got the green card signed on 12/18/20. Like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing, signed green card. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
All right, which is the vehicle, the offending vehicle?
The top right one, the little silver car up by the
Oh,
garage.
the one they're hiding over there? Dang.
It doesn't move and it has an expired tag, which you'll probably see in the next photo.
Okay.
Boom, 520.
They're like firefighters. Okay.
And then the boat is parked on the front lawn. There's high grass under it, as well as in the next photo, you'll see the high grass right there around the planted area.
Gotcha. Okay. So what's the dates on this one?
Special Magistrate, we're requesting compliance by February 26th or attendance at the fine assessment hearing on March 10th or $50 a day.
226, 310, 50 is granted.
Thank you.
Please let the record reflect that the magistrate reviewed and signed the December minutes. Is there anything further to be brought before the special magistrate and or code enforcement board?
No, Special Magistrate.
All right. That being said, we are adjourned, 11:37.
Every toe just cracked. I stood up.
I wish my toe was still cracked.
I don't like this getting old stuff.
It's getting old stuff.